So for step 13, the front uprights, well, we're going to put all of this together, and I'd say it's one of the most complicated ways that Tamiya has made their front uprights, but in some ways it's also one of the coolest because these are super smooth running when you've actually got them built and attached. And of course, as I'm building the Hotshot 2 blockhead motors version at the same time, I know how smooth these are. It's super cool. So here are all of the parts that we need and the hardware. So I'll set this up and we'll start putting this together. So first off, let's get the ball connectors into the hubs. So there's your one hub upright. And you can see that these are the ones they're wanting to use, these MB6, which we used earlier trying to get that ball connector into the lower arm. But you can see that they want it to go into the inside hole of that upright. So we need to get it in from the bottom and through there. So again, I'll grab the box wrench. This helps to figure out where we want for the placement. And I mean, these are going in actually really nice. So I just got to make sure that they're going in nice and level. It is. So we can just spin this on all the way. And there we go. So there is one of them. Now, just because, let's get the other one on just so that we're not getting anything confused. We know that's got to go from the bottom on that side. So let's do that. So now we know that that's got to go in there. Make sure that that's going in level. Not quite. Almost. Yes. So I'm left-handed, so I'm going to turn this around so we can put this on. And just a final check. Yes. So there we go. There are the two uprights and the ball connectors in place. So let's start working on this one first. Now again, this is a really interesting setup because when you see this and it's showing you note direction, the metal plate is flat on one side, but you can see that the bottom part protrudes, or you flip it up, it's going to be facing up. Well, we need those facing down. So on this one, this needs to be sitting like that. Now, you'll notice that there's one of these black pieces, these E9s. Well, it's the same sort of thing, but you have to be careful of placement because they are directional. So for one, they're showing that sort of the way that's inserted, but what it means is this. See the bobbles that are facing up as I hold that? If I put that in, you could go, oh, well, that's how it's supposed to sit. It's not. It has to go a lot farther down. So if you flip this over so that the bobbles are facing down, notice that the ball goes pretty much halfway down. So it's going much farther down between the plastic than when it was sitting like that. And of course, there's another reason why these bobble parts have to face down, because they need to go into these holes here. So if we take this one, we know this is how it's going to go. We know that the bobbles, the protrusion has to face down. We know that the holes have to face down. And we can grab one of our ball connector pieces. They still call it a ball connector. And this is going to be put onto here. Now I could use the hex, which they're telling you to do, but first I just want you to see how that's all going to fit. Now for the hex part, we can just screw this in all the way, just as they say. Yeah, there we go. And you'll know because once it's grabbed and it's in all the way, it's in all the way. Now there is a reason why these baubles are facing down, but I'm not going to show you right now because this is literally how this step's going to end up being. Just a bunch of loose pieces with the ball connector connecting things together. So again, from the bottom, we're going to do the same thing, only this time you can see that the protrusions need to be facing up. So the same thing applies with this. The baubles need to be facing up. So then, when we put this together, and I'll grab one of these, we know that it's going to sit like that. So the top ones, the baubles on the plastic are facing down, the protrusions of the metal are facing down. On the bottom, the metal protrusions are facing up, and on the plastic part, the baubles are facing up. And again, we will tighten this on, and of course that one went on a lot easier, so I don't even need to spin this on much. It's actually at the end. So that side is complete. Now you may be wondering about the grease. Yes, we're going to put that on, but we're not going to put it on at this step. I found it was nicer to put it on when we're going to get ready to actually attach it to the arms. So I'm not putting the grease on yet. So we can move on to the next bit. So again, we need the protrusions facing down, the baubles facing down, and we grab our ball connector, stick that through all of that, and attach it to here. And spin this on. This one needed it. Yeah, there we go. So one more to do, and just got to find my ball connector. Found it. So again, now we're going to have the protrusions facing up, the baubles facing up, and our ball connector is going to fit into there just like that. I will spin it on with my hands initially, and then we will see, and that went on actually really quickly, so that's done. So I'll just do a final check on either side. Yep. So there we go. There is the front upright. So that's how it's going to look. And again, we'll grease it in the next step. So 13 is complete. So we're going to move on to step 14 and work on the front suspension.